September 2022. Old School Runescape was a different game. It had bosses that would randomly stop attacking, and players still had to grind out current favor. But one player by the name of Unpredictable was living in the future. With an absolutely cursed inventory on an account with 1 defense and 31 prayer, Unpredictable finds himself staring down triple Jads. He is at the end of the Inferno, RuneScape's long-standing final challenge, which demands high stats and precise use of overhead protection prayers, or so it was believed. Unpredictable was about to complete the Inferno without ever defending against a single attack. Since its release in 2017, people joked about doing the Inferno without protection prayers. It was supposed to be impossible. Too many monsters, too much damage, and not to mention the boss fights with one-hit KOs. Jagex even blocked the use of purple sweets in the Inferno, which could be used to ticket and survive in other situations. The message was clear. Come back when you get good at prayer flicking. However, we are the OSRS community. Among us, there are mechanical geniuses, obsessive overthinkers, analytical achievers, and we who play this game hunt achievements relentlessly, creating new metas to make what was impossible, possible. Even today, the no overhead Infernal Cape remains one of Old School Runescape's most elusive achievements. In this video, we're gonna break down how it was done.
Yeah, boys, let's fucking go, dude!
Some problems are too complex to solve all at once, but we can break them down part by part and find the tools we need to make progress. This is certainly the case for the no overhead Inferno. Even before entering the cave, we run across the entire map to gather things. This looks like a shitpost, and playing the game this way may well be considered as such, but everything you see here will in fact be essential to the run. Once in the cave, there's another big brain strat. Simply stop playing the game. Clicking logout allows us to pause the marathon of the Inferno, and instead take this challenge one wave at a time. Upon logging in, the wave is randomly generated and locked in, meaning we will often be faced with an unchangeable, difficult spawn pattern. By logging out again right after starting the wave, we can preview the wave and come up with a plan. This is a strategy known as scouting. In this challenge, an upgraded version of this technique was used, the stalled scout. Before the wave starts, the emote of the hit point capes is activated at the same time as double-clicking the logout button. This forces the game session to stay visible, and we obtain crucial information without anything being able to attack. Now with the monster's spawn locations in mind, we can begin to map out a survival strategy. First off is dealing with the nibblers. These hungry guys spawn every wave and try to eat the blocking pillars, drastically reducing survivability if they do succeed. It's essential to clear them when the wave starts, since there won't be another chance to do so with so many incoming monsters. Due to RNG, there's always a possibility that the nibblers get away. So to avoid losing pillars, the key is to find a setup in which it is possible to log out and reset the wave if this occurs. Logging out is only possible up until the moment the player takes a hit, so quick reactions are needed to survive this first step. After the nibblers are fed, it's time to hide from the scary monsters. Some monsters can be trapped against the pillar, or by freezing them with ice spells. Monsters can also block other monsters, and there are strategic moves that can be made with respect to their attack range. Here, I cancel the blob's attack by dragging it just as it's about to fire, and path carefully outside the attack range of the mage. Lastly, by standing under a monster, we can turn our own body into a safe spot. We're going to combine all of these methods to come up with custom, creative solutions to the waves. This battered book comes in handy for its special ability, Red X Littering. This behavior horrifies the monster so much that it can only stare at me, and this tech allows me to create portable safe spots. Interestingly, even though I don't have the level to use protection prayers, I'm going to use the error message it produces to help flinch these immobilized NPCs. Altogether, this Red X strategy allows us to safe spot and also attack monsters where it wouldn't otherwise be possible. Finally, this brings us to the salamander in the room. As it turns out, not only is this bad boy decent DPS due to being magic based, it also has a special property unique to salamanders and halberds, the ability to shoot diagonally without attack delay. This allows flinching, a method to deal damage without the monsters being able to attack in return. However, when there are stacks of monsters, I can't actually run over and just attack them using a salamander. Since my supplies are limited, I've got one option left. HP regenerates slowly over time, exactly once per minute. By timing my attack carefully, the natural HP regeneration will tick up just when I need it to survive. This is the forbidden tick regen strat. By equipping a bracelet of regeneration, this heal becomes 2 HP instead of 1. And by equipping the HP cape, I can also choose when to get a second regeneration, meaning I can either heal 4 HP all at once, or 2 HP and then 2 HP again. This way, it becomes possible to make a custom chain of tick regens as the situation requires. All of these strategies, when combined, give us a fighting chance at surviving the Inferno without protection prayers. But the smallest mistake, missed timing, even being one tile off, or failing to take into account potential random outcomes, will easily lead to death. Nevertheless, we advance, one wave at a time. Powerful mage TzKal-Zuk enters the Inferno, and here the challenge gets serious. Now every wave has a tank that can deal 70 damage in just one hit, and every monster defeated also has the chance to be revived by the mage's special attack. Waves begin to require intensive planning and dozens of attempts. Using precise blocking and multiple red X captures, the separate strategies blend together to form one final wave solution. Using the instant red X strategy, the nibblers can be frozen with the mage in one big stack without it attacking. Then, it's a DPS race to kill the blob before the snake digs to my location. The double blobs are dragged as they would have fired, cancelling their attack so that even running down mid, only the mage is able to attack. What appeared to be an impossible combination of mage, range, and blob is now trapped safely behind the pillar. Finally, the last mage falls, and so do the pillars. The Inferno pauses for one final time, and we are through to the bosses. We've pushed the limits of game mechanics and luck to solve 67 waves. This is wave 68, a gladiator match with 3 giant lava dinosaurs known as Jads. Rules of engagement: no pillars, no safe spots, and no defense. The entire idea of this wave is to test a player's ability with protection prayers. So how are we supposed to survive without using them at all? It is possible to tick-eat Jads' attacks, healing right between when it fires and when it hits you. But this doesn't work with 3 Jads, and even if it did, we would quickly exhaust a limited supply of healing. We needed unpredictable to reinvent this wave. The Jads take turns attacking in a circle, giving time to react and switch prayers. But since we don't have prayers, why not ignore that entirely? If we get all 3 Jads to attack at the same time, we can tick-eat all 3 of them in one go. In effect, we'll be fighting one big slow Jad that hits 3 times. We need to make sure we are at exactly 1 HP or 2 HP, and sip a Guthix Rest right as Jad calculates damage. If my HP is ever 3 or above, this trick won't work, so before every volley of attacks, I need to lower my HP back down with Rock Cake. All that effort has been to get here for just one attempt, where any mistake will send us all the way back to the beginning. So basically, no pressure. After a maneuver which resembles running like a headless chicken, 3 Jads' attacks are now synchronized. But there's no time to relax just yet. Jad summons his nephews to heal him, and since I'm constantly on 1 HP, they will kill me on contact. I have to find a way to block them, for example by getting the southern healers stuck on each other. I have limited supplies, meaning every second counts. I could lose a lot of time, and therefore the entire run, because the healers won't always get stuck on each other, depending on how they spawn in. To solve this quickly, I begin hollowing out specific squares, running into Jad and turning his wide hitbox into a perfect pocket to trap the healers. His east side is now a safe spot. Now only one Jad remains. It's time for one last dance. And with who else but our faithful flinching companion. The final Jad tries to summon his nephews, but little does he know,
I am Unk, and I've still got it.
The healers join my team and help me to push Jad into a corner and splash barrages to finish him off. Sometimes, you see, it's not about crossing the finish line, but rather the fact that we got to do this together. To bring home the Infernal Cape, one final challenge remains. Zuk himself, the final boss, fires a ball that hits you if you're not standing behind the floating shield, and summons mages and rangers to attack the shield and the player. This minion set could have been the end of the no overhead Inferno dream, but speedrunners discovered that the minions may not spawn if you manage to burst down Zuk's health below half within the first 45 seconds of the fight. In this time frame, we have 14 hits to do 600 damage and get the set skip. With this gear, there's a 1 in 800 chance that this happens by using ruby bolts, which have a 6% chance to activate and hit 110 damage. In an alternate timeline, we'd have to do 800 Infernos to expect a single set skip, but fortunately, by simply logging out, the game returns us to the beginning of the Zuk fight. Additionally, by combining spec regen timing with the Lightbearer and Surge Potion, there's an opportunity to use 2 Zerite crossbow special attacks, making it more viable to reach that threshold. We then have to deal with Jad while avoiding Zuk's attacks. When Jad appears, the set spawn timer also begins anew, giving 5 minutes and 15 seconds before another mage and ranger spawn. If we manage to survive Jad, that will be our time limit to finish the fight before the shield is broken and the monsters focus me.
Please, no! 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 No!
The final enemy that can deny us at the very end is RNG. So it's time to re-roll the setup and eliminate the luck factor. The set timer is now paused, meaning I have time to prepare for the next step. During this break, the Rala special attack is used to cut down TzKal-Zuk's defense, guaranteeing that I won't run into a DPS check at the end. Then, it's time to push for Jad. Each incoming attack is parried by drinking a dose of Guthix Rest. Jad's healers spawn, and when I tag them, they'll aggro me. I can't let them hit me, so there's only one place left to go. By leaving the safety of the shield that blocks TzKal-Zuk's big balls. By running south right as TzKal fires, then kiting diagonally back towards the shield, we exit the protected zone to dodge the healers, re-entering exactly when TzKal fires again. This just barely avoids his attack, and we continue tick eating and damaging Jad. The final monster in the Inferno that would require protection prayers goes down. Every hurdle has been overcome, and we're just moments away from completing the Inferno without ever defending against an attack. There are many reasons why a player might wish to do an Inferno without overheads. Some seek bigger hits in PvP, while others seek to grow their PP. Some have moral convictions about using prayers, while others do it how they do it, for the vibes. I'm glad to have been a part of this achievement, not as a pioneer or the first to get it, but rather for the joy of the challenge. For me, it's a gift to have been able to share that with you, knowing that this childhood game, for many of us, is very much alive and growing, with a unique place in our lives. Like anything else, RuneScape on its own is just a game, and it's up to us to give it color and life. Thank you for watching and for being here today. Until next time.